What's going on in here?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. We interrupt this program to bring you a news bulletin. Check it out.
Work Plus Mornings.
And we're back with all the bells and whistles on 10/3/25. How we doing, T?
Doing well.
Bright and
even
early.
though the oil refinery right down the street from me is ablaze right now and on fire, and the air is awful outside, and
Ew, you're gonna get that oily smoke on everything. Ew, I hate that shit, man.
the nice thing is I'm like kind of parallel north from it, sort of thing. So it's just sort of the extra spread. I'm not like everybody east of me is like super fucked.
Hating it.
But yeah, crazy. I guess it was like the jet fuel. It makes a lot of jet fuel since LAX is like right next to it. And I think one of the whatever jet fuel thing,
Someone dropped a cigarette and
boom.
That was it. So how was it waking up this morning to Page McConnell dropping an album and having an article pop in GQ?
Yeah, what the heck? I mean, all of them though. Like, look at this. Fishman's really the only one that's been left out lately, right? Like Trey's had his moment kind of after the album.
Several articles. Trey,
yeah,
several articles
everywhere. And then Mike's. His new studio thing just keeps popping up everywhere. Nobody can stop writing about that and taking pictures of it and being there and interviewing him for that. And now you get Paige.
Yeah,
in GQ.
Right. This is like a continuation of what we've gotten with some other Page stuff, maybe along the lines of Music for Lobbies that Trey did, whatever he called that, atriums or whatever it was called. I don't know. It's not something you just pop one and like listen to driving down the street in the car. It's more like you put on late night kind of thing. What I'm wondering, let me ask you, let's talk about the album for a second first, then we'll get into a little bit of some of what he said in the article. The album, do you think any of this is showing up deep in the middle of a second set out of a simple that's gone off the rails or something where they play, or is it maybe Page teases it? Should we be listening for that? Is he going to tease these songs?
I would assume that knowing, or not really knowing, but having been a fan and studying for so long, Phish and what they do, I feel like any new music gets Trey jazzed up and is willing to learn something new and try something new and do whatever. So I definitely see no reason why this wouldn't somehow, some way, at some point make its way into a Phish set, into a show.
Okay, fair.
So yeah, if anything, unless Page doesn't want it to, there's always that too, to be like, no, I'd rather, but Vita Blue stuff gets in there and other things of his get in there. So I feel like I kind of feel like they just have this open, like, bring whatever you want to the table. And if you want us to learn it and play it, we'll do that, type thing. And I feel like I said, Trey is always gunning for something new. So I don't see why he wouldn't be like, hey, do some of your songs, Page. So yeah.
Right. Something Will Land is what it's called. Now he went up against in another Phish brilliant marketing move. Page went up against Taylor Swift for dropping at midnight.
Maybe that's why he did it, because he was like, I'll get the side push and like, I don't know, but yeah, no, it's funny. It is funny.
Right. It's available via Keyed Records. It's got 8 tracks on it. The last thing I went to Phish's site as of last night, all they had was Maybe We're the Visitors, his last album from 2021, as stuff on there for him. So there, there was nothing. And then this morning we woke up and there's this article from GQ,
article.
Right. A remarkable little record of exquisite ambient themes rendered on piano and synthesizer is how they, sell it there. Apparently it was recorded in the home studio that he has up in Burlington across from his house, like I guess the Barn Junior or something like that. But some of I know you have a quote you want to talk about in a minute, but one of the most fascinating things I found is that he convened a quartet earlier in this year in Las Vegas that had O'Teal, his Vita Blue partner, and Adam Zimmern, who played guitar on the reconfigured version of Vita Blue from 2019 with a guy named Santa Davis playing drums. So it's basically Vita Blue. I thought Vita Blue was done when Russell died. I figured that would be it, but it seems like Page is stepping towards let me see what I can build from the ashes of Vita Blue.
The ashes of Vita Blue. That's funny. Yeah, I haven't. I'm interested to listen to it and see. Page always does such unique things too. So, like I feel like of all of it, I appreciate his, or I don't know, a lot, maybe more than anyone else's, just because it doesn't get too weird in the sense of the weirdness that I like. Like Mike kind of gets weird in a weird way, if that makes sense, And Trey obviously is just Trey. You never know what direction he's going. Is it like Ghost of the Forest? Is it like Trey Band? Is it like old Trey Band? Is it, like you never know where he's coming from with what he's writing, what is inspiring him to write or play next. But Page, I always feel like just is sort of that like composer. He reminds me kind of like the Phil of the band, so to speak, and where it's a little more heady and a little more thought out, maybe processed, and a little bit more has sort of that classical feel to it, like a student of the like not classic music, or not classic rock, but like Mozart and Beethoven and like Chopin and like classic music background type stuff, and then mix that with jazz and stuff, and you kind of get my kind of music. Like that's what I like, like that's sort of my offshoot of like what got me into the Dead and Phish anyway, was like being a fan of classical music and then big fan of jazz, huge fan. So I guess I just kind of gravitate more towards what Page does. And then of course Fishman, but Fishman's like, he's even weirder than Mike sometimes. If you listen to the Aaron Path, sometimes you're like, dude, like I don't even know where your head's at, man.
Closest that I am ever getting to having a Phish instrumental album again, I guess, is Page doing an ambient album.
Yeah.
What can we do now? What was that quote that you saw about Trey and setlist?
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, it's interesting, and it kind of goes along the line of what we always talk about with how they kind of come up with songs and the set lists. And
I was always said it was planned, and you all poo-pooed on me for saying
not planned, but we always know. I mean, we've known forever that he writes basically an outline or has an idea of what he wants to play, and then they kind of go off of that to decide, okay, well, this moment calls for I love you drinking a fat natty, and it's 9:15 for me. It's so funny though, but like, yeah, I mean, we've always known that there's been like, at least recently, especially. I don't think back in the day there was a lot of plan to it, but so yeah, the quote was basically just saying that every show of Phish's this past summer's tour, every show of Phish's summer tour was diligently considered well in advance. Each possible song they might play every night color-coded to reveal at a glance whether or not the show had the requisite balance. Workhorses like Tweezer or Wolfman's Brother. I like how Wolfman's is like a workhorse like Tweezer. I think I would have put like Yum in there maybe or something. So-called bust-outs of much rarer material. Before a tour even starts, Anastasio and Phish's management discuss what has and hasn't been played. Phish's management, that's interesting too. What has and hasn't been played.
He doesn't look at social media, so they're the ones monitoring social media, and they're like, "Those idiots at Wook Plus want you to do, sing."
Well, what I was gonna say is like, is that where like the Scott Marks kind of posts something or gets in their ear and says, "Oh, you know what? It'd be great if they played this because they haven't played it."
The snowflakes in the sand.
That's exactly. I was trying to think of the song. Thank you. I was trying to think of the song, and that was exactly the one. Like, yes. But anyway, he was saying Phish's management discussed what has and hasn't been played, what fans online might want to hear, or what's grown stale. These night-by-night spreadsheets are only a starting point, and Anastasio wakes up before each show and again considers the evening's plans.
So that's how you ended up with the Tweezer Reprise show. He's like, all right, we saw this shirt. It's the last night of tour. Let's
have some fun with it.
Right.
And I think that's even, what planned, where it's like after they saw that, they started brainstorming it and came up with, what if we did the last show as a reprise show and just kept going? You know what I mean? Like you can see the wheels turning on something like that and doing that. So I do like, though, that we know, because we always joke, right? Like, with everything, like I made a point of all summer wanting good times, bad times, throwing it out there as much as possible. You've posted things and videos of songs they haven't played, and then 2 nights later they play one of those songs or something, so I feel like they're very, very aware of fans and the online presence of things. So I think it's really cool.
Why? Second paragraph. Do we have to mention the Grateful Dead? They're so far from the Grateful Dead at this point.
Well, look at what it says. Scroll back up, because it's not just it's in context, though. It's like in Seth McConnell's band of the last 40 years. Phish, one time inheritors of that splintering.
Right, but did you need to put that AI infested line in there with those AI dashes?
Well, I think because they're trying to show that now they're not like that. And now, like, it's changed so much in 40 years. Because, 40 years ago, they were kind of that, especially after Jerry died. It became that, like, we talked about it. Where did we go? What did we do? Where were we like, oh, shit, who's out there? And, the splintering factors, some went to smaller bands like String Cheese and, like, Government Mule and things. And others went to Phish and Dave Matthews and things like that. So,
This is a great line too.
What?
That's a great line. We have so many songs in Phish that if I was to try to write a song and bring it to the band and expect it to be played more than 3 times a year, that would be a huge expectation.
3 times a year.
Interesting. He says he's not complaining too. The next line, he says he's not complaining. So,
but it's funny that he's like 3 times a year. So know that like you're getting maybe twice. Your song maybe is getting thrown in there. A new song until they like really get it figured out and want decide if it's a hit or not, but it's funny to see. And even an ever tighter pants. and Paige is the comfortably professional presence.
Right. He's got kids younger than me. He says he's got kids 25. Anyway, we wanted to I wanted to show off our new technology that we can share the screens there, but I kind of blew it in the beginning. So anyway, we're going to get on with the rest of the show, but we're cutting this for YouTube. So thank you for watching. Make sure you comment. If you're only seeing this first clip, head over to Volume to watch the rest of it, and let's dive into some of this other stuff.
Ooh, other stuff.
What's up, dog?
Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.